She was your normal baby. I mean, nothing real different from the first child, from Ashley. We started seeing some signs of regression. As we started to notice this regression, we of course took her to the doctor and we learned that she had brain cancer. They tell us that you don't know, if she's going to survive. You don't know life expectancy. The hardest thing was handing her to a doctor as a baby and seeing them carry her through the door. It's tough. It was tough. But it was a successful surgery. We started chemo shortly after that. We had Ashley at the time too, who was only maybe 3 or 4 at the time. So, and all of her family was back in Pennsylvania.
So she had the brain tumor resected and went through about 1.5 years of chemo. After that, she's just special needs. She's got a mood disorder and she's got autism. She has 2 rods in her back from scoliosis. She's had, port removals and placements.
So 13 years after her diagnosis and treatment for brain cancer, lived a semi-normal, healthy life. She's 4 mentally from the brain cancer, we think. So at 17, we fly up to Pennsylvania to our goddaughter's wedding. And we went to the wedding on a Friday night. She had a class, she danced, goofed around, and we had a great time.
We go to bed and I wake up, get myself ready. It gets to be about 9 o'clock. And usually she's up by then. She's up by 8 or 9. Everybody was doing their thing. I was like, I'll just get her up. So I go back in and the first thing I just notice is all the blood. I mean, she's had nosebleeds before, but never this bad. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I might need some help.
So right away there were problems at the hospital. And so the doctors walked in and started talking with him about a plan for treatment. And he was like, wait, what? She has leukemia? Because no one had told us. Because Alyssa has so many things that happened in her life, she needs to be here at Texas Children's. They have all of her records. They know every single doctor she's seen. Most of them are still there. And they know her history. And so anything we do with her is always complicated by all the extra things. Texas Children's knows Alyssa and she needed to be here. And the insurance company said, well, they can treat this where you are, so you don't need to go home. It didn't matter. All that mattered was the fact that they didn't want to pay that money to get her home, which I think it started out as $65,000 and then came down. But even so, they wouldn't. And then when Keith tried to ask if he could find a flight that cost less, they said no, it had to be this certain flight and it had to be this certain way and it had to be through their certain person, and they wouldn't do it.
Finally, I called down to the credit union, the JFC credit union at the office in Houston, and told them what was going on, and I needed a loan for $50,000. And they said, we'll get it done. So I was all prepared to do that. And then my partner, Stacy, she's also with our EAP program for the FBI, which is your employee assistance program. She didn't take any shit. So she called me up immediately and said, hey, I heard what's going on. Let me make some phone calls.
We knew he needed a few $10,000 to get home. And as we talked to people and we're whittling it away, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, and how we can add it all up. And we knew she wasn't getting the best medical care up there. He was concerned with the chemo that she was getting up there. And her doctors wanted her home.
So got a call from the FBI Age Association, and they said, I don't know who they are. They don't know me. But he immediately, I said, give me some quotes and I'll see what we can do. I can't promise.
And even though there were so many other people who were willing to help and step in with, hundreds or thousands of dollars, none of them had to, because the Agents Association did it all.
The National Executive Board, who took a look at this critical situation and realized we had to do better for our member and their daughter. And we made it happen. And it was made possible by the donations of so many people who have supported our members and families for years now.
Alyssa needed to be here, and finally someone said they would help us. We couldn't have done it without them. She's given us a different perspective on life, and she's taught us what real love is. And she gives real love, and she teaches us how to give real love.
She is beautiful, she's kind, she is compassionate, and to be able to see into her world a little bit and learn from her has been amazing. And watching her progression, with the things she's been through, her joy never faded.
Thank you for all you do for everyone and the agents, and thank you for those of you that donate so that they can help people like us and people like Alyssa.
What, 1, 2, 3.